I'm Dave Chapin, and I'm here with Jay.
Right.
I'll let Jay introduce himself and tell us what he does here at Willow Electric.
All right, I am Jay Tornquist, and I work in the Human Resource Department. I've been here for 21 years, just this last month, and over that time I've had the opportunity to work with human resources, safety, and education, and many different roles, but I've enjoyed my time here for sure. David, I don't know if you remember exactly how this portion of my life started when I got sick, but I do remember you and I were down, I think it was at a Christmas party down in Lawton, Oklahoma. And then we finished the Christmas party saying we had a great group down there, and you and I hopped on the airplane.
But we went down there, and I don't remember what day of the week it was, but the day of the party we were together, and you found out that, okay, the next day you were going to get the call. And then we went to the party. Then the next day we spent in Lawton waiting for this call to come. And even drove from Lawton to Oklahoma City where we flew out. And so it's an hour and a half drive, and spent the whole time waiting for the call. Even on the drive up there, got a call saying that you were going to get a call. And I remember our reaction being, why not just make this the call? Okay, let's make it. Why we don't need a call about getting a call.
Call me and tell me you're calling.
So you really had to wait. So there's a lot of quiet and solemn day because the assumption was they're going to call with bad news. Let's hope they say something good.
Right.
Because you got the call and answered it as we were getting ready to take off in an airplane. You were sitting between me and coincidentally the flight attendant on the other side.
Exactly.
You answered the phone as we were taking off, sitting next to the flight attendant, and the flight attendant never did anything about it.
And he hadn't, was it right? Exactly. And he hadn't been all that super friendly before that, but I think he kind of incredibly understood that it was a really important phone call and allowed us to talk even as we were taking off, and we never lost connection. It would be a horrible one to lose connection on. And I remember wondering if I could even get that call, and because I didn't know if we could answer it, and the flight was starting.
Yes.
And I hadn't turned it on to flight mode yet, and I picked it up and it said, Jay, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have acute myeloid leukemia. And I'll never forget that moment. I remember sharing that with you, and it was, I remember kind of stunned silence for a moment. I don't remember what you, but we took off, and on the way, we first we prayed, and then, but on the way you encouraged me.
And then when you got the call, it was the first words you said, I had MBS, and then you just were silent for a while and said that's the way you wanted it to be. That was easy for me to grant because I didn't quite know what to say. So we went there, and like you said, we talked some, and then we got to Denver. We went in up to United and found out they could not get you to Chicago because that's where you were with Nathan and Kathy. I think it was just Nathan and Kathy, but Nathan was sick and Kathy was with him in Chicago. But I didn't give up. United couldn't do it, but Southwest could, and so we went and got you on a Southwest flight that then got you there at night or morning, whichever way you are, however you want to look at the clock. Like you mentioned,
just how much that meant. Because otherwise I was going to land in Lincoln with you,
right?
And my family was in Chicago. Yes. And so to have this kind of a weight of news, that was a huge deal for me to be able to just turn and go to it. And I don't remember a lot, but I do remember partying there. You going one way and you go to another.
So otherwise the other thing was that we were going to land in Lincoln, and I was going to have to lose my beauty sleep that night to drive you to Chicago.
That's right.
And I needed the beauty sleep.
And I knew you were going to get me there, so that part was I was confident, and appreciative of that. The doctor said I couldn't even go home, so we went to my oldest sons. We got everybody together, and I went straight to the hospital in St. Cloud. They did the treatments at that time and for chemo, and I remember just getting worse and worse, and then 2 weeks after that, they came and told me that the chemotherapy had not worked. And I think very soon after that, you and your dad came and visited me after that.
Yeah, we were we were planning to go up there. They painted a not very positive picture of your situation, and I said, I remember saying this, I said, I'll go to Minnesota and CJ. And so I drove up, and didn't have much of a plan before I left home. I drove up. I told Justin and my dad that I was going to do that, and that I'm going to St. Cloud. Let's go see Jay. They then said, okay, we're going to come with. And so all three of us then met you there. We talked to Kathy. I can remember on my ride up, because I thought somebody should know before I showed up. So I called Kathy and said, I'm coming. I should be there late in the afternoon. And she was very excited. And nobody's ever excited to see me except my dog. So I wondered why she was so excited. And she had said that day the numbers had actually turned around. And I had spent enough time with Jay going back to the Oklahoma trip to remember what the different numbers meant, and where the different thresholds were. I could not tell you what the numbers were then. Now, what are the thresholds even are. At that time, I was pretty well versed in how that went, and just the joy and the excitement within the Tornquist family as I went up there.
During that time, to get the phone calls, to get the notes, and then when I got the bad news, the news that said that chemo hadn't worked, and I had 2 months to live. I had a wife, my Kathy, was at home with Nathan, who had Lyme disease, was out of high school, had to drop out. I had 1 week of vacation. Lots of medical bills, and in fact, they'd already set up hospice. I was to get a blood transfusion platelet transfusion every 3 days, and then that was on when my platelets were at 5 on that Sunday, and then when the day you came, against all the wisdom and everything else on that Monday, it went from 5 to 10 on its own, went up for the first time. It's supposed to be 150. But even 10 sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's where I think when you came and Kathy was excited and believing that things were on. And when that night, I don't remember if somebody called you or somebody said, can we give Jay some time? You called and said that the employees here at Wilmer Electric, Wilmer Electric itself has been incredible. But it takes it a step farther when the employees say, Jay, you get well. We've got you covered for the next foreseeable future. You get well. We got you.
And here you are today, well as can be.
The fact that my coworkers came through and supported me for long enough that I either was going to get well or, according to what I was told, was going to leave this earth. Either way, I was supported until that time. All of us appreciate life.
Yeah.
We want to wake up. I wake up every morning after 4 years, walk to the window, look out, and it gets snow. That's incredible. You say, thanks for the gift of life. And I don't think I'm alone there. I'm probably the only one that walks up to the window every day. And the rest of us are so busy.
Wonderful. That was great for you to share your heart, and I appreciate it. And you've done a lot here at Wilmer Electric, so thank you for all your time.
Absolutely. I do have a couple people I'd like to shout out.
All right. Sure. Yes.
One is Trista.
Okay.
Trista came on with Wilmer Electric 15 years ago, and we worked together in the HR department, and then our roles over the years have kind of shifted, and now Trista is my supervisor, and it has gone seamlessly. She does a great job of understanding where I'm at, what my abilities, what I can do, what I need to work on, that kind of thing. And so I wanted to just, not everybody could make those kind of adjustments, and she's done a great job. So thank you very much for that.
We do a lot. You don't need to say nice things. Stop saying nice things.
I didn't have to say nice things.
All right, well, thank you, Jay.
Thanks again.